Imagine yourself at that low moment when they tell you just had a kid. Imagine now you're going on stage with Willie Nelson. Like, what a crazy dream. What a crazy simulation you're in. If the simulation's real, brother.
Yeah, and I defied all, like, you'll see it in the doc, but it's like, you know, I had everything not going for me, even in the music side of things. Like, I had to learn how to sing. I wasn't like, I don't come from a family. I'm the only songwriter of my family. Right? Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
there's no historic music. My mother just loved music.
Right.
You know, it's like we didn't come, so I had to learn all this. You know, because nobody would sign me at first, I had to learn the business. You know, I'm a kid that I got my GED when I was 24. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I got my GED, if you asked what my last grade completed was, I would have had to technically write down 8th. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the last one I passed. And I just had to figure all this. You know, my daddy, I almost quit one time, Joe. My daddy looked me in the eye and he said, "Why would you quit, son?" He said, "If you worked this hard to be a doctor, you'd be going to get your doctorate degree right now. You're 2 years away from being a fucking brain surgeon." He was like, "You just had to go to a different college." And man, that stuck all over me, Joe. Of all the advice and one-liners, my dad was like one of them old gangsters that just had them quick one-liners, you know? And of all the stuff that that just stuck with me because it was like, you can't run the time. The fact that I didn't find success till I was 38 is just like, you know, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know.
Yeah, but this is what always begs the question. I would not want you to go through any of the things you went through. But because of the things you went through, this is what we get.
Right.
And it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing when out of some horrible, chaotic situation, something beautiful emerges. And I don't know why we need that. Yeah. Like, what is it about people? What do we need to fuck people up so they make amazing art?
Yeah.
Is that
just a little suffer?
Is that? I mean, is there other ways? Can you do it through sports? I mean, is there holding your breath? Is there some other fucking way other than torturing a kid's childhood to turn them into something talented? Because I don't know if it is, man. All of my friends that I love the most had the most fucked up childhoods.
Right.
You know, and they're the most fun to be around, the most silly, you know, and the most appreciative. And you know, it's like there's a sense of community amongst people that grew up in fucked up sort of environments. But I don't want anybody to ever grow up like that. Right. I want people to grow up loved and challenged by things. I want things to be interesting to you. I want you to go after them not because you're desperate, but because you're fascinated. Right. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think you have to be fucked up to be great at something. I just think oftentimes that's the case. Yeah. And so I think one of the things like that young man, what was his name that sang that song on American Idol?
Ian Tongi.
God damn.
Man.
Whatever that dude went through.
Yeah, he lost his father.
Oh, my God.
He tells the story right before he sings the song, but it's just so, man. I know, right? Just everything about it.
That song is so good, right? It's so good because that guy went through that shit to make that thing that we all can watch.
Yeah, no, and just sings it just in the most painful. And it's just like I told you, like nothing about, I think he had the Jelly Roll factor of nothing about how he looked made me think he was going to sound like that.
Right. You know, had no idea what was coming.
No, and then you just hear, and then you start listening to the lyrics and you're like, oh no, I'm fixing to cry.
God. Yeah. So good.
No. Ian Tongi, man, I'll tell him you're a fan. I'm going to see him this weekend, dude. And I'm like, I've already sent him a message a couple times on Instagram because I'm a nerd, but I'm like, dude, I'm a fan. Like, I'm coming to hug you.
That's beautiful.
Like, me and you are
going to
cry
too.
together.
I'm going to meet too. Well, listen, brother, this has been a fun, fucking enjoyable, interesting time, and I appreciate you very much, man.
No, dude,
you have a great story.
You just giving me the platform to share it means a lot.
The story is great, man. It's it's such a good story. It's so important. It really is American as fuck. Yeah. What you're doing right now is American as fuck.
Thank you, brother. You can figure it out. I'll end it like this. Well, two things, if you don't mind, Joe. Just give me some house cleaning before we go. Just I'd be remiss because, God, you know how big this is for me. JellyRoll615.com. I am going on my first arena amphitheater tour later this year. There are still tickets available in select markets. I feel like the comedian now at the end of the podcast. Where are you going to be at next week?
Yeah,
you know?
They want to hear it.
Please, JellyRoll615.com. You can find me on socials. I'm pretty easy to get to there. And I will say this, that music finds a way. And I thank God that music found its way to you, and I found my way to this room to have this platform with your people, brother.
Well, thank you, brother.
And thank you for this. And I look forward to hanging with you tonight.
Fuck yeah.
I'm coming, Papa.
Fuck yeah. All right.